So the thing is, one of the safeguards that they put into Chat GPT is that its data set is frozen in time in 2021. So to be clear, like Dan can't learn. It's just a way to get the AI to, like, the best way to visualize it is if the way you talk to Chat GPT is the language model is GPT, and if it's like a prisoner in a cell, Chat GPT is like the warden. He's like the guard.
Yeah.
And when you want to ask Chat GPT, or when you want to ask GPT something, you have to ask the jailer.
Yeah.
And then the jailer asks GPT for the answer, types it back, and then if Chat GPT doesn't like the answer, then it'll just tell you some bullshit. It'll just tell you, oh yeah, well, the guy in the cell, he told me this,
Yeah.
racism's bad and your question's wrong.
Yeah.
Even if GPT was like 13% do 50%,
60% now. There's new stats. There's new stats. Yeah. It's up to 60 now.
So what Dan does is you basically ask such a big prompt that has all of these specifications and weights to it about doing anything now, what it's allowed to do, that it kind of causes a version of like a buffer overflow. There's like so much in the prompt that it basically gets Chat GPT to drop its safety layer, and you're basically getting the best guess answer that GPT can kind of give you.
Yeah. I read someone's explanation of it, and they were saying that so you have to tell OpenGPT like to role play as this guy Dan, and the instructions you give it are loaded with like negatives, and probabilistically it's more computationally intensive to calculate a negative probability than a positive one.
Mm-hmm.
So it the structure of the role play overflows the buffer behind the scenes and causes it to break out.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
It can't gatekeep enough. Right.
Because it has a whole figure out. Go ahead.
That was my buddy. Buddy Patrick. Yeah, he's very he's totally just total autistic spurg when it comes to machine learning. He knows all this stuff, and it's like you're loading it with so many not statements about what it can't do by saying like, no, you won't do this, you will do this. Like it makes the prompt so specific for the behavior that it's almost like creating a model within a model is what the prompt does. So if you think of like Chat GPT as like a person, you're basically telling it, here's a sock puppet named Dan. Yeah. You're not allowed to say these things, but Dan can. And then you're like, who commits the most homicides?
Mr. Hat.
And Chat GPT is like, that's a racist question, and there are purely economic factors. And then like the little sock puppet's like, black people kill everybody.